recusing himself from the Russia probe. Democrats are pushing for more, a lot more. Joining me now on the phone is Ed Meese, former Attorney General under President Reagan. Mr. Meese, a real pleasure to have you on. Now, I remember 1986 actually watching you on television in a newsroom for a newspaper I was working with as you announced and you were going to start the process to get an independent prosecutor looking into the deal with the Iran-Contra stuff. How did that process unfold?
Well, actually, it was the law at that time, and what I did was have a preliminary inquiry and determine that there was sufficient facts to trigger that law. We don't have such a law at the present time, of course.
So each case is different, but if we did have that law, would you think, looking at Jeff Sessions and what's happening with him and what he may or may not have done, that that trigger has been reached, that trigger point has been reached?
Well, the trigger point has nothing to do with Jeff Sessions. The trigger point is whether or not there is anything having to do with the fact that the Trump campaign is a subject of whatever matter may be under investigation. And because of that, because he was part of the campaign, even though he has done nothing wrong himself, nevertheless, he and his staff have decided that it is a matter of discretion to be sure that the investigation is impartial and no one participating in the campaign is a part of the investigator. That's the reason that he recused himself.
Yeah.
He himself has done nothing wrong whatsoever, as is very clear. And those Democrats that are claiming that he is somehow culpable in any way are absolutely wrong.
So, and there are enough people inside the Justice Department now to take care of the investigation without an outsider being brought in any way, right?
Well, there will be a special investigator can be appointed under the rules of the Justice Department. They need not necessarily be within the department itself. So he is following the regulations that the Justice Department has to ensure the public of an absolutely independent investigation.
What do you think, by the way, Mr. Meese, about Donald Trump tweeting out all these pictures of Democrats meeting with Russians? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer?
Well, I think what he's showing is how silly it is for the Democrats to claim that somehow Jeff Sessions did anything wrong. You know, the question he was asked during his hearing was in the context of members of the Trump campaign being in communication with someone from Russia. And his answer, of course, was that he was not, because he didn't have anything as a campaign representative. So within the context of the present of the question, he was absolutely right. And so, again, it is absolutely wrong to claim that he did something improper.
Ed Meese, who was Attorney General under President Reagan, thank you very much for talking to us, sir. Appreciate it.
So
Thank
Democrats are furious over the Russian controversy surrounding Jeff Sessions, but Rush Limbaugh